Hey guys, it's Mrs. Pickett. I'm here with you talking a little bit more about fractions. And before I get started, just to let you know, I am in the airport right now. So you might hear some noises or some intercom, stuff like that. So I'm going to do my best to work through it and make sure you guys can hear what's going on. But I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. So last time we had a video, we talked all about common denominators and how to find common denominators. So we're going to take that a step further, and we're going to use those common denominators to help us figure out how to add fractions that have unlike denominators. So our question today is, Peter was traveling to and from home on his bike. He rode half a mile on his way to the and he rode 2/3 home. So the question is, how many miles did he ride altogether? So the important information here is he rode a half a mile there, 2/3 home, and we want to know how many miles did he ride altogether. Okay, so we know we're going to add because of that word, the words altogether tells me I'm going to add. So I'm going to add the fractions 1/2 and 2/3. So we know when we have the fractions 1/2 and 2/3 that there's a problem because we don't have the same denominator, so we can't add fractions with different denominators. So the first thing we need to do is figure out what number goes into both 2 and 3. So I'm going to look for my multiples of both 2 and 3. Okay, so I'm going to just count by 2. So I'm going to say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and obviously I could keep going for a while, but now let's go ahead and do my 3s. So I've got 3, 6, 9, 12. So if we look at those two numbers, we actually can see that both 6 and 12 go into both 2 and 3. You guys see that? Good. So we could really use 6 or 12 as our common denominator. And I'm sure if we kept going, we could probably find some more numbers that would work for both of those. But what I really want you to pay attention to is that when we look for common denominators, it's important to find the smallest number that goes into both. So while 12 and 6 both go in, 6 is going to be our smallest number. So that's the number we actually want to use for our common denominator. So as you guys can see over here on the side, if I was going to add, this was my 1 whole, this was my 1/2 piece, and then I had some 2/3. It's hard to add pieces that aren't equal, right? Excuse me. So let's go ahead and find that common denominator. So this is going to be my 1/2 piece, and these would be my 1/3. So like I said, we really need them to be the same. So what did I do to my 2 over here? My numerator, my denominator of 2. What did I do to that to get my 6? Hopefully you said that I multiplied by 3. So 6 times 3, or 2 times 3 is 6. So now if I multiply that 3 by 1, because whatever I do to my denominator, I have to do to my numerator, I'm going to multiply by 3 again to get 3/6. Okay? Same thing on this problem. We're going to do the same thing to my denominator that I did to my numerator. 3 times 2 gives me a product of 6. So 2 times 2 gives me a product of 4 to get 4/6. So now that I have like denominators, I can add. And adding is pretty easy. So I'm going to say that I've got 7/6. Okay? So all I had to do was add that 3 and the 4. So hopefully what you can see is typically with fractions, our numerator is smaller than our denominator. In this situation, my numerator is bigger, which makes it so that I can have a mixed number. So if I was going to figure out what my mixed number would be, I know that 6 out of 6 equals 1 whole, right? And so here I have at least 1 whole. So I'm going to go ahead and put a big 1 here for my 1 whole. Now, if I take that 6 out of 6 and I subtract that from my 7/6, because I took out 6 to get my 1 whole, I would have 1 out of 6 left. So my answer would be 1 and 1/6. Right now, I don't want you to worry too much about the mixed fractions because we'll get into that a little bit later as we continue through this fraction unit. What I really want you to think about is how do you find the common denominator and use that to help you add and subtract fractions, okay? Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. And your joke for today is, what do you call an ant who can't speak? See you later.